active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted. active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
It's like Americans so much.
I'm asking questions about how Europeans see Americans.
I think it's a third world country with a lot of money. Very negative.
Very negative.
Yeah, I don't see anything positive about America.
I think they're a bit stupid. American TikTokers, they earn too much money with what they do. Like in Belgium, we have to work for our money and they just make videos and that's it.
Well, can't they make money over there, over in Europe like that? I'm confused. Because TikTok, you can do that in Europe, right? Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
You know, I might be completely wrong about this, but I think it was a little bit cooler to be American when I was a kid.
Why do Europeans dislike Americans so much?
Hi guys! I've lived in Europe for several years now, and look, I've romanticized this continent quite a bit. I really like living here. But there's a funny feeling that I cannot shake. And I think it has to do with how Europeans view Americans.
How's that?
Or how Europeans view me when they discover that I'm American. And it's not entirely positive. This feeling has not gone away even though I've been here for a few years now. And it's not hatred. It's more like negative undertones. Offhand comments or jokes that are made. And it makes me
about
feel
like the schools and like the guns.
Cool.
Yeah.
And by the way, I recognize not all Europeans dislike Americans. That is a massive
fat with guns, mobility scooters.
Because it's been enough of a trend for me to confidently talk about this as something that's really happening.
See, yeah, Europeans always go and think they fucking better than us. They're thinking about us here in America. We can't even see where their country. We don't even know where their country is on a map. We don't even know where the fuck they are. We're not thinking about. You think we're thinking about Germany? I don't even know where the hell that is. Sweden? Yeah, it's like somewhere over there. Like, yeah, what? Yeah, I don't know. Not even thinking about them.
In my head. It just seems like when it comes to
Europeans'
view of Americans, there's a lot to dislike. I don't necessarily entirely disagree. I have plenty of my own criticisms about the United States and the way of life over there. And I think that all places, all societies merit criticism. That's how we get better. So this applies to everyone. But there's something deeper going on here that I want to explore.
What is it?
On a personal level, my own identity as an American, but also the identity of Americans on the global stage. We don't live in a bubble, and it turns out
I think what happens is the fact that American news media makes America look like it's a PvP server. Whereas, like, actually, I bet a lot of places in America probably aren't that different from Europe. It's probably about the same demeanor, about the same vibe. Things are different, language is different, but the people are probably about the same. Like, they probably get along. It's not that big of a difference. You know, other than, like, you know, unique cultural differences. Like, you know, like in Venice, you know, there's a lot of apparently, like, lakes and shit like that, rivers. So, like, it's not going to be one-to-one, but it's going to be close, right? So I think that's really what happens, right? Is, like, you have a lot of selective reporting that makes America look like, you know, things are crazy, but it's really not like that. It's just that the media reports on it this much.
The world has opinions about us. Now, I have my own theories about what's going on here, but I thought I'd get to the root of the matter and ask Europeans themselves.
It makes me a little bit nervous talking to strangers, but
I hate doing that, bro.
I'm gonna go for it.
I hate when somebody tries
What
to
are
talk
the stereotypes?
Fat.
That's a good question.
Bah moi, quand je pense aux Américains, je pense à la.
Think Americans think they're food.
Dans quel sens? Le fast-food?
Ouais.
Ok.
Les McDo. Ouais.
McDo.
Ouais, hamburger et tout.
Mais les Français adorent McDo.
Oui. Bah, on était il y a 2 mois.
Yeah.
Donc c'est pas
See,
pour...
that's the thing, bro. Like, they think that they're better than us, but where are they going? McDonald's. How about that? That's crazy. McDo, that's what they call it over there.
C'est négatif ça.
Non,
Yeah.
non, non.
Okay.
C'est l'image.
Actually, I like Americans
Okay.
because they are like very chilled. America is like so expensive for good food.
I don't know if
Like
that's true
Yeah.
or not.
for like fruits and all this fresh stuff, it's like so expensive.
J'ai deux visions un peu.
Okay.
J'ai la version où ils
minds.
sont trop cool et tout, et la version vraiment
The other
le beauf
version is the
américain.
hillbilly
Do you
American.
think the
Yeah.
stereotypes about Americans
true.
are true?
Kind of. I have a classmate that is American, and we are talking like about our traditional foods. And the American was like, my typical food is hamburger,
Yeah.
ice cream, like the McDonald's one.
Yeah.
And we are like, oh, so McDonald's is your typical food? She was like, yeah, kind of.
Could I just take a couple?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Those ice cream cones are the best. They're amazing. Absolutely. Yep.
Minutes to ask a couple questions.
True.
Okay, if you don't have time, it's fine. Okay, all good. Have a nice day. The Americans don't have time for me.
Good one.
That's kind of funny. Would you mind if I asked you a couple questions?
Yeah, because Americans are used to having jobs and having to be places, whereas Europeans, this is just what they do.
Polarized.
Yeah.
More than the Netherlands.
Much more.
Feel younger people feel the same way or differently about American?
I think even stronger.
Even stronger?
I think they
Okay.
feel even stronger.
Yeah, the older people, I feel maybe thinking of the World War II and World
Yeah.
War One, in which the Americans did a very good job
Yeah.
by helping because Europe was not
That's
doing
right.
very well.
Yep.
Ils connaissent que ce qui se passe dans leur pays.
Ouais, ouais.
They only know what's going on.
Sur eux-mêmes.
What they
Bon,
say?
fermé.
They only know what's going on in their country, I feel like. Well, we know what's going on in Palestine, we just don't know where it is. We know what's going on in the UK, we just don't know where it is. Like, we know it's happening. Yeah. Where is Ukraine? Somewhere. Probably, I mean, like, logically, it's probably close to Russia, right? Russia's really big, I know where that is. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, fuck. Next to Poland? Yeah, where's Poland? Who cares?
Ils connaissent que ce qui se passe dans leur pays.
Ouais, ouais.
Yeah.
Parce que enfermés sur eux-mêmes.
Bon, fermé sur eux-mêmes.
C'est-à-dire que
They're not interested in other
ils
countries.
s'intéressent pas trop aux autres pays.
That's actually true. Yeah, that's actually true. Like, most Americans, like, could not give a single fuck about, like, the European country. You gotta remember also, like, we fought a war 350 years ago to not give a fuck about what happens in Europe. Okay? You gotta keep that in mind. Fought a fucking war because we were so sick of giving a fuck about what's happening over there. We got tired of it. So keep that in mind.
About their own country, but not about like other stuff in the world. They're overrated.
They're overrated. How? Like, they receive too much attention?
Yeah, too much hype.
Because everybody's thinking about us. Everybody's talking about us because we're the best. That's the reason people just can't stop thinking about America. That's right.
Internet.
Are you also German?
Yes, I am.
And in
That's
Germany,
right.
you feel like German people have a positive view of Americans?
Probably not.
Not really,
No.
yeah.
Okay, so more negative.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you feel that there's been a change at all in terms of how Americans are viewed, like in the last 10, 15 years?
I think so, yes. Especially due to the Trump and the Tea Party things happening. It
Forgot
got
all
more
about the Tea
polarized
Party.
and that made it more negative in my view.
There's more that I'd like to say about why I believe this dynamic is happening, why Europeans see Americans in this way. But before I do,
I just really
all
hope
right,
it's not. Yeah.
time for me to share some of my own personal theories
What's
here.
this?
Here's why I think it was maybe a little bit cooler to be American in the past. I was born in the 90s, maybe like some of you. And back in the 90s,
I think that Trump being a wild ass retard saying all kinds of crazy shit does make us look stupid to Europeans. Absolutely it does. No, I mean, I look at Boris Johnson and I'm like, what do you mean? It's really that much different, right? I mean, Trump is worse, but like, it's not that much worse. And so, like, Boris is gone now. He is, but so is Trump. You know, he'll probably win this time, right? But like, before then he was gone. So yeah.
not like the United States, or the world for that matter, didn't have its problems. It definitely did. You're not gonna get any of that classic nostalgia.
Yeah.
Those were the days kind of thing for me. But one thing I think we can all agree on is that back in the 90s, the internet had not yet completely taken over our lives like it has now. And in my view,
well, the media changed. I think it's the media that really changed, because now, like, you have so much division and divisiveness in media that's like created by the media, that of course people think that America is a PvP server, because bro, like it's insane.
Internet feels like it's taken whatever problems already existed
9/11
and made them bigger and louder. That might actually be what the internet is best at: the fast transmission of ideas and information, which in turn amplifies them. And there's another thing that the internet is
I actually think, like, this is my opinion, I actually think that it wasn't 9/11. I think that it was Obama. I think it was that people realized that a lot of criticism of Obama with really strong racial undertones was extremely popular. And I think that that created, like, whether it was right or wrong, that created a use case that was successful. And that use case went and it created a whole other genre of people that are like that. I hate Americans? Yeah, so that's what I think really happened. And like Obama was like, people realized that you could make a lot of money by being super divisive because it worked. And I think that one, can you elaborate? Yeah, basically, so Obama being a black guy was a big deal, right? This is a real big deal. Like, people might not remember, this is crazy, crazy, crazy big fucking deal. And so this happened, and then you had a lot of people that would say negative or like bad shit about Obama, and it was really popular. And like what people found out was that anything negative that you said about Obama would be super popular amongst an audience of people. Like that woman going out and saying like Obama is a Muslim to John McCain, and he's like, no, shut the fuck up, right? But like there were a lot of people that believed that. So I think that Obama was the first time that you had like super, super extremely judgmental people that catered, and you had content that catered to that lowest common denominator of politics, which was race at the time. And now I think that created a use case and like a example of it working in a market. And every election after that, I think, has just amplified that more and more. You're making stuff up. If you don't see it the way that I see it, that's fine, but that's the reason why I think it happened.
Good at, which is that
I think that's a big
canvas
reason
for less curated or filtered versions of that information or ideas. There are less gatekeepers, so anyone can say anything. My theory is that as time has gone on, and as the internet has played a bigger and bigger role in our lives, the world has been exposed to a less curated version of the United States. You know, you had movies and TV and pop music reaching the entire world, but it wasn't like it is today with social media and even the news reaching so many more people. Nowadays, it feels like you cannot escape the news about the mass shootings that are constantly happening in the US or the insane election cycles. I think in some ways the internet
that's because people want to see it, and it's crazy. That's the reason why, like, you hear about somebody shoots up a school and you're like, what the fuck? And so like people want to, they want to dial everything up, right? Because if you dial something up, then people might get more upset and they might be more willing to talk about it. I remember Sarah Palin was good. Yeah, no, I mean, because like Sarah Palin is another good example. Like, bro, people are making like content about her being a porn star and like sucking dicks and like having retarded kids and shit like this. Like the level, because like I remember, I don't remember anything before 2000 really. But yeah, no, like for real. Who? Absolutely, yeah, like about, I'm not crazy, right? Family Guy, yeah. And so, like in 2004, right? You had Bush and who was it? John Kerry, and then 2020 was Al Gore and Bush, and they were much more chill, comparatively, way more chill. And then when popular media got involved, and you started, like, again, it's that people realized that you could engage a whole new audience of voters by appealing to the lowest common denominator. Because whenever you've got two statesmen up there talking about politics and like, well, I think we should spend this much money on the agricultural budget. Like you got Bill over there in his chair, he passes. But like somebody says, I think a man should go into a woman's bathroom. Bill goes, hold up, wait a minute, what do you say? Wait, there's a black man gonna be president? What? Then he wake the fuck up. And they woke up a whole lot of Bills, Billies, Jim Bill, Billy Bob. A lot of them, they woke the fuck up. And that's what it was. And Jethro's, yeah, exactly. And Terry, yeah, all the average, very politically uninvolved Americans, 2008 was it was like lowering the bar for accessibility in politics because the issues were more human. A woman vice president, that means that she could be president. Women are bad drivers. They can't be president. They're gonna drive the country into a wall. A black person president? What? That's what it was. Like, that's it. It's real. Yes. They can't be president. But I thought we just had Martin Luther King Day already being president. What? And you had all these idiots going and thinking like this. You dialed it all the way down. And now they can think. Now they can relate. That's when it started. I'm really, the more I think about this, the more I think of like the other points, and I'm like, man, this really makes more sense. And like, obviously, like, that was like nothing compared to Trump, right? Like, Trump, bro, like, Trump killed House of Cards. People say Kevin Spacey allegations killed House of Cards. No, Trump did. Because nothing that Frank Underwood could do would be even half as insane as Trump. That's what it was. Like, bro, like, every political drama, because you can never beat real life now. This all been developing since the Democrats became neoliberals, Republicans being more conservative. No, yeah, well, I'm saying, like, in 2008, that was the first time that you had identity politics become a top issue, I think. Did you forget social media and the internet was on the rise back then? I know. Well, what do you mean I forget? No, of course I didn't forget. I was there. How did I forget?
They've taken away some of our innocence, right? Some of our naivete. As a result, even more curated versions of culture, like the highly produced TV shows and movies, are reflecting the things that we're seeing. The unintelligent or simple American is a very believable archetype and not a new one. You've got at least one and often more than one character that perfectly fits that archetype in pretty much all American sitcoms.
Well, it's the same way, like, we have a lot of media. Like, who do I, like, whenever I think of Germany, who do I think of when I think of Germany? You know what it is, right? And so, whenever I think of, like, you know, fucking Britain, who do I think of when I think of Britain? I think of, like, three things. 3 people, that's it. And so, like, Americans have a big, like, one of the big things that America has is culture, right? Like, entertainment culture, and it exports that to the whole fucking world.
Friends to How I Met Your Mother, and there are plenty of shows
like
that
Hollywood,
play off
shit
this
like
very
that,
intentionally.
movies.
I think of South Park, Family Guy, and The Simpsons. And internationally, the contrast is even more stark. And it might just be me, but it does feel like the perception of Americans is deteriorating. I mean, I'm thinking about shows like Emily in Paris or The White Lotus. The White Lotus in particular blew me away because it felt so believable, and oftentimes in a very depressing way. Clearly, Americans are not known for being refined or in touch with reality. This is particularly true of wealthy Americans. And why wouldn't Europeans feel this way? We are famously terrible at learning foreign languages. To many, we're seen as living in our own giant bubble.
A lot of people beforehand used to think...
You gotta understand that, like, America is really big, and so, like, people think, like, oh, well, you never leave America. Yeah, but, like, America is, like, the fucking size of Europe. It's fucking massive. It's gigantic. So there's no reason to leave. It's bigger? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
like the US was like very cool and this really lovely place to go to, but I feel like everyone just thinks it's dangerous and that they don't care about their citizens. There's all these shootings going on, like their healthcare is horrible, their schooling's horrible.
So there's been a change.
I think it's always been like that. I think there's a change now because like social media is is making it more apparent.
America used to be, you know, like the American dream, like a lot of them used to be a big thing. Like gun crime was getting like publicized a lot more. So I think,
see,
like,
he gets it. It's publicized a lot more. That's exactly right. He's right.
It's changing a little bit.
Je vois l'Amérique comme une grande puissance mondiale et je les vois comme des capitalistes. En fait, si t'as de l'argent, tu vis bien, mais si t'as pas d'argent, il y a personne pour t'aider.
In France, we say the Americans are big and fat, but I have America with friends, the salary friends.
Yeah.
Donc il y a des côtés.
It is crazy to see like Europe because there's not as many fat people there. Like I'm looking in the background and I've got like my hog radar on and I'm not seeing a lot of beeps. Yeah, there's not that many fat people.
Positifs et des côtés négatifs.
Catching up.
C'est ça, exactement. Globalement, les gens pensent ça, mais en même temps, tout le monde va à New York et tout le monde va aux États-Unis. C'est ça en fait, ouais. Ils ont des préjugés, mais en même temps, c'est quand même un rêve d'y aller.
J'étais absolument ulcérée quand Trump était au pouvoir. De voir les comportements de cet
Trump definitely was you know, like that lost us a lot of reputation. Yep.
Ça donne pas envie d'aller forcément dans
make you want to go to the US.
Ces conditions-là. Le fait que les gens soient très armés, j'ai l'impression que je me sentirais pas en sécurité.
Most people love Canadians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you clarify you're a Canadian, they're like,
yeah. You're like, oh, Canada, where are you from in Canada? For me, it's like a lot about the money, like the times I went to New York and it's like, you know, winners and losers and, you know, you gotta make it and you gotta make loads of money.
That's
and
right.
Blah, blah, blah. And then like if you don't have money,
you die.
Basically
you die.
I would say extremes.
Extremes.
It's like an extreme, you know, country, like very.
I think she's really right about this, by the way. This is 100% true. She's 100% right.
Rich, very poor, eat very much, eat very healthy, like extreme healthy, extreme.
Somebody says Trump didn't lose us the rep. It's the media that panned him bad did. Yeah, but that's still about Trump, right? The media definitely does this. Like the main reason why this happens is because of the media. The media distorts reality. You have to understand media is not on your side. Media is your enemy. Media is the media company, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, all of them. These are all publicly traded, in I think a lot of cases, corporations whose primary goal is to the shareholders. That's what they care about. They care about making money. News is secondary.
Yeah.
Like XXXL, McDonald's, whatever.
Where are you from?
England.
Perfect. So I'm doing a video on
Europeans' view of Americans.
Okay.
I don't know if you have any opinions about that.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay.
From Europe. No, we're not. We left EU.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like it's a more positive or a negative view of Americans?
I'd say negative. I feel like there's a lot going on there that's just a bit backwards.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we need to move along.
Yeah.
The like, you know, all the abortion laws coming in.
So politically.
And, like all the gun crimes, things like that. Like, I imagine like most of the country is absolutely lovely, but there's some of the morals that are just a little bit off for me. So I struggle with that.
I agree, but I do think...
Yeah, which is like, the truth is that most of the people in the U.S. Are actually in favor of abortions. Like they are. Like most people here are pro-abortion. They listen to the news. Yeah, exactly, right? And the guns and everything like that, for sure.
You all like proper chatty and that.
It's not true.
And you're really energetic.
I'm not. It's not about whether you look at. Go look it up. Look it up. Just go look it up. Just look at a poll. Like it's easy. Like I mean, what the fuck? Every poll says this.
Yeah.
So it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
but I also agree with that as well.
Yeah.
It's lovely to meet Americans.
Yeah.
Love meeting Americans.
Okay, so why am I so interested in this topic? Well, over the last few years, I have shared my journey moving abroad and looking for a home. Because that home is not the United States. I just don't feel connected to that country. Not as a home, even though I'm coming to realize that it did shape me in many ways. I'm just trying to find my place, but as I've said before, different people will treat you in different ways based off of how they perceive you. The first time I experienced this was during my high school exchange in France when I was 16 years old. Obama was president, and regardless of your personal political opinions or feelings, he was seen in a generally positive light abroad. So in a weird
people loved Obama, absolutely.
way, even though I was not responsible for electing him, I wasn't even of age to vote, that scored me some cool points. And then on top of it, 16-year-old French kids living in a small town in the west of France thought it was cool that I rode a yellow bus to school and that I had my own personal locker in the United States. So I was benefiting from all these things that I didn't really control at all. Then I get to Argentina.
Over in Europe, they still have to use horses.
Later, and I see what it's like to be on the flip side, where the general sentiment was more negative. I'm generalizing here, but there's a bit of an anti-American streak in Argentina. And I think this comes down to the image that the United States has of being a bit of a bully. I mean, Che Guevara is a bit of an anti-American, anti-capitalist symbol, right? So that was a very different experience.
Because we fuck with them. Like, yeah, like, of course they're gonna fucking hate us. Yeah, of course. Like, what do you mean?
I'm back in Europe, and I've been here for a while, and the perception has changed yet again.
90% of the Dutchmen think Trump is quite strange.
Yeah.
They think Republicans are also quite strange, and that Americans are very Puritan.
This might just be me, but I do feel like the image of Americans has deteriorated a little bit over the last 10 years. That might come down to the government that's currently in power. It might come down to social media. This is a very complex thing, so I can't point to a single reason, but it's definitely a feeling that's there. Now, on a personal level, before I realized that this was going on, I was kind of unintentionally overcompensating. I felt like I needed to show that I wasn't the out-of-touch American in Europe. And the same thing happened to me in Argentina, where I was speaking with as much slang as I possibly could that I picked up over there, even when it was just way too much, when it was inappropriate. Que zarpado, boludo, re piola, vive, mal, mal. Why was I acting like that? Was there a deeper need within me to be accepted by the people that I am surrounded by? To me, it's a little bit cringy to behave that way. Because
this is the thing, is like, I remember, like, I've always tried to, that's one of the things that people like about Trump, by the way, is the fact that he acts like an asshole everywhere. It's not like he's nice to some people. He's mean to everybody. And like, nobody ever respects any degree of like code switching or like acting different around other people. Right? You mean an idiot? Well, you want to say it whatever you want to say, but like, if you don't like him, that's fine. But like, you have to look at what people say. And I think that, to be fair, that's true, right? He pretty much acts the same about everybody. He's authentic, yeah, whether you like it or not, he is. And or at least he's the same brand of inauthentic in all places, right? I'm not gonna, I don't want to get into fucking, I don't want to get in some like weird argument about like Trump or some shit. The point is that if you go and you try to get people to accept you, that's the last thing that they're gonna do. Like, you can never get people to accept you. They'll never do that.
Compensating for something, which in this case was the identity that people were associating with me. Whatever it was, the out-of-touch, stupid American, whatever it might be. But that's actually a me problem, not a problem with the world. I've come to realize that people can think whatever they want about you.
Everybody's gonna have stereotypes.
It doesn't change who you are. If people see me as yet another...
I've heard that Chinese people are getting a lot of the same stereotypes that Americans are. Every time that a Chinese person does something stupid in another country, you can read the comment section and see a bunch of Americans celebrating, like, ah, it wasn't us. Hey, see, they do it. Look, hey, bro, look at them. Hey, they're pretty bad, huh? Wow, China, see, they're full of assholes over there. See, we're not so bad, huh? How about that? Yeah, that's what it is. See, they do it too. That's the difference.
They're dumb American. It doesn't mean that's true. And also, it doesn't mean all Americans are that way. I think we all know this.
Of course
we all know that individuals don't necessarily follow the stereotypes. But it's also how people operate in a world of 8 billion people. I can't blame people for having formulated an idea about the place that I'm from, considering how much culture is exported from that place.
Well, if you watch the news and you've never been to America, you would, dude, that'd be the last place I want to go. I fucking, holy shit, are you kidding me? Like, the cop's gonna just pull you over and shoot you in the head. Like, for what? For nothing, bro. Like, because you blinked. You blinked too fast, man. What are you doing? Yeah, no, that's really what it is, yeah.
A part of me used to try to distance myself as much as possible from anything and everything American.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But the truth is that at least some part of me, some piece of me, has been influenced by my upbringing there. There are a lot of things I don't like, but there are some things that I do. If genuinely being very enthusiastically excited about simple things is the dumb American thing to do, then fine, maybe I'm a dumb American sometimes, because that is something that comes naturally to me. I would rather be myself and accept the consequences than try to be someone that I'm not. And you know what? Everyone wants to feel welcome wherever they are, and especially in their home. But the reality is that that's actually a luxury, not a given. So many immigrants in the United States were never made to feel that way, despite the fact that the country benefited tremendously from all the immigration, all the people that risked.
It's also like, I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean, a lot of people in America are from fucking Europe. Like, it's not like we just spawned here, right? I mean, pretty much everybody in America is probably, like, or at least all the white people, I would say, are probably from fucking Europe. So it's not like this is some kind of crazy, like, Europeans and Americans are that much different. Like, what do you mean?
Their lives to go build something over there. Honestly, I don't have it that bad. Who am I kidding?
Yeah.
I don't have it bad at all. It could be so much worse, and oftentimes it is. Exploring this topic has really given me quite a bit of empathy for the immigrants that are very poorly received all around the world. So, what do you think about everything I just shared here? What is your perception of Americans or of Europeans towards Americans? I would be curious to hear, because this is a giant open-ended topic, and I invite all different opinions and perspectives on this. It's just something I love to explore. Also, apologies to all Latin Americans and Canadians who are Americans in their own right. I have decided to use that word in this video because there isn't really another word that has been widely adopted.
Never, bro. Like, never, bro. If somebody gets mad about that, they are retard. They a tone policing retard that's just looking to get mad. Never, like,
to still speak of the people of the United States. So I just used it for simplicity, and I hope that you
somebody needs their medication.
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see all of you very soon.
Yeah, I don't think Europeans really hate Americans that much. Like, I really just, I just don't really think so. I think the odds are, like, most Europeans probably read bad shit about America, but, like, they don't really have much opinion about it that much. They don't really care that much. We do. Yeah, I mean, some do, I'm sure, but, like, it's the same as with a lot of things where I think that most people understand that what a country does isn't representative of a person. And you're gonna have people that bring shit up randomly and they're, like, aggro about it. There's the video. It's a good video, right? Asking the people. But I think the truth is that, like, what do Americans think about people in the EU? I'm gonna be honest. Most Americans don't think about them at all. We don't, like, we're not thinking about that, bro. Like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. Yeah, we're not thinking about them. That's whatever, right? True. No, yeah, what the fuck is a kilometer? This makes you ignorant? Well, it's not necessarily ignorant. It's just that people don't give a fuck. I mean, and to be fair, to an extent, yeah, it is ignorant. That's just the way it is. Why are we going to care about what's going on the other side of the world? Right? That's it. That's the way I see it. Too busy thinking about Canada. We got to figure out, think about Mexico. All the illegals coming from Mexico. That's what we're thinking about over here, because that's what's happening right now. Yeah, they're not thinking about some other bullshit. No, like, why would they be thinking about that? Yeah, don't care. Yeah, that's really the truth. I think that's the case with pretty much every circumstance, right? Yeah, that's why I see it. That's why you support wars here. Oh, why we support wars? Yeah, USA military uses kilometers? I don't know. Let's worry about the countries that our ancestors escaped from. Yeah, exactly right. And we don't care about other countries. Wait, this oil, oh, this country needs democracy. Hey, I mean, like, I didn't, like, look, I'm not on that. Yeah, you're on another continent, makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Europeans care what happens in America because it does affect us. Yeah, but like what y'all doesn't affect us. And so like that's, you know, Europe wants to go and do like Brexit or some shit. Like what the fuck? Go ahead. Like y'all do whatever, right? That's just the truth, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. So yeah. We just go watch another one. France is dumb. Oh, that's fine. Like I think that I don't blame any European for having a negative opinion about America, because American media does its best job to make America look like the worst thing possible. Like it does, and it always highlights the worst things possible. And like these people have never been to America. They don't know what it's like. They got no idea. So like all they're gonna know about it is from the news, right? They're not gonna know about like, you know, different cities or anything like that, any idea. So like they're just gonna see the news and be like, wow, this is awful, right? I mean, fuck. I think that makes a sense. That's why I care so much about China, huh? Yeah, China's a really big deal. They're a massive player in the global economy. Absolutely, they're huge. That's why people care about China. You want to know why people care a lot about China? Nobody gives a fuck about Madagascar? I'll tell you why. Because Madagascar doesn't have nukes and it doesn't have billions of people in it. That's the truth. Yep, absolutely. So is EU? Yeah, but it's like it's like dispersed, right? It's like individual countries. Like people care about Europe in general, right? Not about like individual countries. Does that make sense? It's like caring about like Texas, for example, versus caring about like the country. That's just how I think people are. And, you know, people might disagree with that, might think it's not true, whatever, but that's at least the reason why I think it's happening, right?
warp drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
So yeah, the MrBeast video. I know a lot of you guys saw this and people were thinking, man, this is actually a good thing. MrBeast is being held accountable by his audience, etc. Well, luckily, Keemstar and Drama Alert are here to announce a correction. Gentlemen, here it is. We apologize. We just deleted the tweet showing 500k dislikes on the MrBeast new upload. This info came from a third-party app that allows you to see the dislikes. Fellow creators reached out saying that the third-party app is not to be trusted. We also got in contact with MrBeast for the real numbers. And the real numbers, this is them showing the video. Right there. Likes 3 million, dislikes 37,000. Oh my God.
I am not paid off by MrBeast. I'm not. Stop saying it, okay?
So he got paid off to say he wasn't paid off by MrBeast. This is fucked up, guys. I can't believe this. This is crazy.
We put out a news story that MrBeast's new video within the first hour got 500,000 dislikes. That tweet that we put out using a third-party app to see the dislikes, 500k dislikes, went viral. It almost had 1 million views before I deleted it.
Ooh.
And issued an apology.
I guess MrBeast paid for that too.
Now, why did I delete it and issue an apology? Because other creators reached out to me and told me, hey, that third-party app that you're using to see the dislikes on the MrBeast video cannot be trusted, because there's a formula with that app where basically how many people that actually use the app that hit dislike, so then they have to like figure out how many people that are not using the app, so they run off of a percentage, and then they guesstimate that around, I don't know, 30 or 40% of the people watching the video actually hit dislike. These are not hard numbers. They're guessing. The app is guessing. There's a formula based on the people that use the app and actually dislike. So it can't really be trusted. Do you understand what I'm...
So the first thing that I think of is, let's go on my main YouTube channel and test it myself. Like, I could download the extension on one browser and not have it on another browser and test it myself. But here's the problem, is that that would not be conclusive. The reason why it would not be conclusive is because it is an extrapolation tool. And as numbers become larger, extrapolation tools generally become more inaccurate. So I don't think that doing that would actually disprove anything.
I'm saying?
Sorry.
Once these other creators told me that, then I had to reach out to MrBeast directly to get a screenshot of his back end on the video, and sure enough, it was like 98% likes, okay?
Yeah.
So the 500k dislikes, completely bullshit.
500k, yeah, no, somebody says show the most dislikes. Let's say I have a video gets disliked 40,000 times. 40,000, think about how much less people say it's 1.8 million. 40,000, 1.8 million, what is that? Fucking 500 times, more than 500 times less? I mean, come on, it's totally fucking different. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, guys. Deleted comments have hundreds of tens of thousands of likes? Yeah.
So I issued an apology, I took down the original tweet, I put out the real numbers, and the response from everyone is, Keemstar, you got paid off by MrBeast. No, I fucking didn't. No, I fucking didn't. No, I didn't. All right? YouTubers have tried to bribe me in the past.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. No, I'm not one of these, like, YouTubers over here trying to get a Lambo. Like, this is my, like, life. You know what I mean? I've been, like, a YouTuber for, like, 15 fucking years. This shit is important to me, and I want to be right. Like, that is the most important thing to me. Not money. I want to be correct. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That would be nice.
So now it's went absolutely viral. People are still using that third-party app. If you just search MrBeast dislikes
we'll look at it after
on
this.
Twitter right now, you're going to see very prominent people putting out information that his new video has like 50% dislikes, or 2 million dislikes, 1 million dislikes. It's everywhere. It's on Reddit. It's everywhere. And I keep trying to correct the number. Last night before I went to bed, I reached out to the MrBeast team and got another screenshot showing the real dislikes
Wow.
and likes, and I put it out there, and every fucking response to that fucking post is, you got paid off, you got paid off, you got paid off, you got paid off. No. I want to be right. I want to put out correct information. It's important to me. So yeah. And there's no way that MrBeast or anyone on his team is going to lie to me and send me a fake screenshot. If they did that, we would be at war. We would be at war, people. There's no way. I have too much respect for him. He has too much respect for me. He's not going to feed me bullshit like that. These guys grew up watching Drama Alert. They love the show. They're not going to lie to me and send me false information.
It's crazy because I think about it. Drama Alert really has been around for a while. It's really been like, because I'm thinking back on this. It's been a long time, man. It really has been. Yeah, it's been a really long time.
No fucking way. There's no fucking way. Because if they did, this would be a much bigger story. And I would tell you, hey, MrBeast and his team is sending me fake bullshit and they're trying to con me. You know what I mean? Like, we would uncover that at some point.
Sure.
We would know the real dislikes. So I just want to say, because this is all over Reddit, it's all over Twitter, it's everywhere, that MrBeast's new video has like 1 million dislikes. It doesn't. It doesn't, and I haven't been paid off. I'm just actually doing journalism here and getting the real data and getting multiple points of contact and actually like talking to the fucking direct source and getting fucking evidence and proof to get it to you, like, you know, doing my fucking job like you're supposed to do. That's all.
Well, let's be honest here. If Keemstar came out, or if MrBeast came out and he showed a video of him opening up his dashboard and showing the dislikes that his video had, I don't think anybody would be like, wow, now I have it proven to me. And this is a very important point of view, because whenever I think about an idea like this, I think to myself, what could be said or done that would change people's minds? And I think this is a very important component, right? Because what would make people change their minds and make them believe that this number is accurate? There it is. So, and by the way, this is what I think happened. I think YouTube probably isn't very good at calculating big numbers like that with dislikes, and the number calculation got fucked up. I don't think MrBeast is lying, but I think that this probably happens with other types of like large number calculations from websites as well. Because 37,000 dislikes, there's no way it's that few dislikes. I really just don't think so. I could see 30 million likes, but I don't think that it's that many. They edited the HTML page, so you think that they're lying about it? I mean, what if YouTube came out and they said, this is the official likes and dislikes of this video, and they posted a video and they said, this is it. Everybody would say YouTube is only doing this because they're trying to protect MrBeast because he makes them a lot of money. So let's not pretend like this is some sort of logical conclusion that people are coming to. Even if YouTube came out and said that, people would figure out a way to find out that it was fake. So yes, I would believe it. I think that this number is inaccurate. I don't know why it is inaccurate. I don't know how it is inaccurate, but it does not make logical sense to me that this video itself has that much of a discrepancy, right? Because like you're talking about, so like if you want to look at any sort of like is it off by 50%, right? Because like how many dislikes does it have right now? How many dislikes does it have right now? 1.8 million. Okay, so let's just round this up to 40,000 dislikes, let's say that. So 40,000 dislikes goes into 1.8, a little bit over 6 times. So that means it is over-reporting or under-reporting dislikes at a, or over-reporting dislikes at a 600% ratio. More than that even, 6.5. That is insane. That it, like, if it, that's crazy difference, right? Because you think about how big a 6,000%, yes. Well, what I'm saying is it's a 600% more, right? IGN is going to be the only place that doesn't have his workers looking like this. Like, you work at Game Informer, this is you. You work at, you know, Kotaku is probably going to be you. You work at, like, a lot of these places is probably going to be you. This is going to be you. That's your house.
GameStop. This is a company that's been on a downward spiral ever since they realized they can't just rely on physical sales due to the fact that physical sales are just declining. It's a digital age, and GameStop, having failed to adapt, and with piss poor leadership and management, they've only been relying on meme stocks to stay afloat. And along the way, there have been some casualties, including none other than Game Informer, which GameStop bought out all the way back in 2000. And the name Game Informer is just synonymous with
It's crazy that you bought out Game Informer when the internet was out. Like, that's insane. Like, I could understand buying it out in 1995 or even 1998, but in the year 2000? Jeez, what a dumbass mistake. Damn.
They've been around since frickin' 1991. They're the oldest video game magazine, and any gamer will have some kind of fond memory with buying some kind of magazine, buying an issue that covered a game that they were hyped for, with exclusive coverage that was just next level, especially back in the day. Obviously, there's a lot more coverage that is much more widespread in this day and age, in this digital age. But I mean, not too long ago, Game Informer was the magazine you'd go to get the most extensive coverage for games, and even
Game Informer was one of the only ones that covered everything, because like you had Xbox magazines, you had like PlayStation magazines, you had a bunch of other shit magazines, but like you never had like just one magazine where like everything was being covered. Oh shit, Shy Lily, yo, thanks for the raid. Hi guys, what y'all doing? We're talking about magazines and the fact that they're dead.
In modern times, they would do exclusive coverage and cover stories and have all kinds of exclusive content with deep dives into upcoming games that would provide just an incredible amount of information and insight into the development process and what we can expect from a game. And so it's incredibly sad to see them go out like this. I'm
gonna be honest, like I'm not emotional about this one, but I was about Nintendo Power. I remember when Nintendo Power, like they said it was done, I was stressed, man. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, really? You're gonna stop doing this? What's going on?
GameStop just utterly butchering Game Informer with hardly any notice and completely taking down one of the sort of most iconic aspects of gaming and gaming coverage and gaming journalism.
I feel like if you work in one of these companies, like, so if you work at a job that you get paid a lot of money and you hardly have to do anything, you probably should be worried. Because eventually some guy is going to figure that out. And they're going to get rid of you. That's what's going to happen. It's the same if you work inside of an area inside of a company and you're doing some kind of job, some bullshit, right? And you don't think you're making any money for the company, you should be looking for another job. You should be worried.
And we have seen this first in the form of a tweet here from the official Game Informer Twitter page. The tweet here reads, "The final level, farewell from Game Informer." And we got a statement right here. You can find the same statement if you go to GameInformer.com right now. It reads right here, "After 33 thrilling years of bringing you the latest news, reviews, and insights from the ever-evolving world of gaming, it is with a heavy heart that we announce the closure of Game Informer. From the early days of pixelated adventures to today's immersive virtual realms, we have been honored to share this incredible journey with you, our loyal readers. While our presses may stop, the passion for gaming that we've cultivated together will continue to live on."
It's like the magazines have been irrelevant for 10 years, like if not longer than that. It's just an outdated medium that people aren't interested in anymore. Like, that's just the way it is. It's amazing that print media has lasted this long. Yeah. Because it's like, why would you want to buy magazines take up space, they cost money. There's a lot of reasons, right? Whereas you could just go and get, the information from a YouTube video or from a website, and it's easier, way easier.
Thank you for being part of our epic quest, and may your own gaming adventures never end. Now, something that has been noted by now former Game Informer staff is that that statement was not written by anyone within Game Informer. Right here we have a coverage from Kotaku, and there's a portion where they spoke to sources. Game Informer Twitter account posted the following statement online today, but sources tell Kotaku it was not written by anyone on the team, which was still in the process of making sure everyone on staff was informed about
By the way,
news.
you're fired.
The way this all played out was extremely sudden.
Yep.
Just a lot of folks did not see this coming. One day, GameStop called in.
I'm sorry to say, but like if you worked at Game Informer and you were like, wait, what? We're getting shut down? Like, you were living in a fantasy world, okay? How you not see this coming? Come on. And by the way, the reason why the companies do this is that there are people, it's like for insider trading, to prevent insider trading. And so that's why the companies don't tell people ahead of time. That Blizzard does the same thing, and Microsoft does it. A lot of people do this. It's because
Members of Game Informer to let them know they're out of a job and that just the entire Game Informer brand would be taken down. Staff were all called into a meeting on Friday with parent company GameStop's VP of HR. In it, they were told the publication was closing immediately. They were all laid off and would begin receiving severance terms. At least one staffer was in the middle of a work trip.
Just cut him out.
The team was told.
Got rid of him.
And this means that the last issue
Deleted.
of Game Informer will cover Dragon Age the Veilguard as its cover story, and that'll be it. That's the end of Game Informer.
And that's why it's over. Is because nobody gives a fuck about that game, and the way that they're going to cover it is probably not going to be representative of what the gaming audience actually thinks about the game. And so that's what happens. You make content that doesn't resonate with an audience, and you die. That's just the way it goes. Like that. I'm sorry, but like games journalism and that shit, like it's bad. Bad take on Dragon Age. It's an objective fact that a lot of people don't like the way the game is, and I bet Game Informer is going to be parroting the same opinions that every single other games publication is parroting. They're saying the exact same thing. Like, there might as well just be one game news publication, and that's it. It might as well be a monopoly.
It's also worth noting that on the consumer side of things, those who subscribe to receive physical magazines, GameStop has not issued any statement whatsoever on any plans to issue refunds or whether such refunds will be provided, which is disconcerting. But perhaps the most egregious thing about all of this is the fact that the Game Informer website as a whole has been completely taken down. Again, if you go to the Game Informer website right now, you'll find the statement, but there's no way to actually access the website proper, which has tons of articles, videos, coverage of games, and exclusive coverage and cover stories and content that is now completely gone from the face of the internet. They didn't just shut down Game Informer, they literally nuked it. They literally deleted it, which means that we won't be able to preserve all of the coverage that they did. This is something that
that is sad. It's disappointing that they did that. I mean, I guess you have the Wayback Machine, etc. But yeah, it's disappointing that happened.
Video lead at Game Informer, Alex Van Aken, complained about saying we can't access the website to back up our years of work. It's just a landing page now.
Bro, that actually sucks. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, that really does suck. There's really no other way to look at it other than that sucks.
He did say that he backed up in porn files, but we published thousands of materials yearly. There were 12 of us at the end, producing at print magazine, online stories, podcast videos, not to mention rigorous travel schedule, mostly shared between 5 or 6 editors. There's no time. This is genuinely important stuff we're losing in gaming history. This is just egregious what GameStop is doing here. Like, it's one thing to say it's the end of Game Informer, but to take down the website completely instead of at least keep that up and maintain that aspect of things.
It's crazy that they just took it down that day, right? They didn't even give people a week or anything like that. They just took it down instantaneously. That's brutal, man. Holy shit.
Is asinine. It's classic GameStop. We're talking about a business, again, that is just flailing, has no idea what it's doing, has not been able to adapt to the digital age, and a business that is so incompetent that former Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé, when he once upon a time joined GameStop's board to help them turn things around, decided that he had enough and just left the board because leadership refused to explain how they would turn the company around, and they were just not taking in anything.
Like, anytime I went to a GameStop, not recently, but a bit ago, I went to a GameStop, You know what was at the GameStop? A bunch of fucking Funko Pops. We just got a bunch of Funko Pops sitting around with t-shirts about Dark Souls. Like, they're not even selling games anymore. Like, what the fuck is this? And shirts, yeah. It's like, what the hell happened, man? What the fuck? It's a Funko Pop. Yeah, what the hell is this?
Reggie was telling
Stupid
them in terms of recommendations
for old
how
children?
to turn the
Yeah.
business around. Right here we have another former Game
children.
Informer staff venting his frustration by saying, I'm furious about the end of Game Informer.
Yeah.
It was an incredible 33-year run, and then GameStop pumps out this phony, empty farewell message. I bet money it was written by AI. Fuck you, GameStop, and a huge fuck you to Ryan Cohen, who's the CEO of GameStop, who's just been driving the...
I mean, I like, about them shutting it down out of nowhere, like, that's kind of sad, but, like, you got to expect that that's going to happen, right? I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, like, that's, like, of course, right?
Company into the ground and took Game Informer with it. Why couldn't they have sold Game Informer to someone? I mean, just to see Game Informer go down like this, really, I think is quite tragic. And this ironically comes in a few days after GameStop tweeted the following: bet y'all wish you bought physical copies now. And
damn, ain't that crazy? Wow.
In reference to the Xbox 360 store shutting down.
Yeah.
And GameStop tweeted support for physical media.
Buy physical
in large
media,
part because that's kind of a big part of their business. But not to say that I disagree with the fact that we should support physical media. But GameStop tweeting this shortly before.
I agree that physical media should be more emphasized, and I think it becomes more important than ever now that all of the video games that you have, you're accessing through some sort of store or some apparatus that if it goes down, your game effectively is deleted. I think that's the same for Steam, etc. It would be really great if, like, we could go to a place like GameStop and be able to just buy any game that we wanted. It's just that that's not really accessible. And the only people that are really able to make games and distribute them to, like, a mass market, like to GameStops, they're these really big companies. Yeah, Steam has offline mode. Yeah, well, I'm like, Steam is just like one example, right? Like the Xbox 360 is like that. I only buy physical, more for the ones that don't. Yeah, I mean, I never buy physical. Like, the last physical game I bought was probably, like, Breath of the Wild or something like that. That was it. PC gamers aren't buying discs. Yeah, exactly. It's because oftentimes the content isn't even in the disc.
Shutting down and utterly nuking one of the very few remaining physical magazines that covers video games. And in terms of...
Nobody orders it. That's why nobody buys it. Like, it's just not financially viable. Like, it makes sense they shut it down. Like, I'm surprised it still existed now.
Just the...
Like, that's just the way it is.
The depth and extent of coverage that Game Informer does.
Yeah.
It might be the only gaming magazine, physical gaming magazine, that did it at that level.
Yep.
And now that just no longer exists. If you had any respect for physical media or just preserving at least aspects of the digital coverage that Game Informer has done, you would have kept the website up at the very least, or you would have sold Game Informer.
Well, it's like that you didn't even keep the website up for the employees so they could save copies of their work or make mirrors of it so they could use it to find another job. I feel like that's so scummy, and like, you didn't need to do that. Like, you did not need to. There's no reason that had to happen.
Somebody else to continue the legacy, find some way to keep it alive, but you utterly
hold up.
Continue the legacy.
Would be a W if you guys start selling more games in your stores instead of having those Funko Pops every store I get. See, I saw that just for a second, bro. I can read fast. Yep, absolutely. I like that comment.
Find some way to keep it alive, but you utterly, completely just decimated what is like almost like a cultural institution in gaming history at this point. Now, there are some efforts that are being taken to preserve Game Informer. So right here we have MinMax, which for those who don't know is an individual outlet that was started some time back by former Game Informer employees who were caught in layoffs. And they're essentially taking efforts through their Discord to organize a way to preserve some history and to art.
This is like people that are trying to propagate AM radio, or people that are trying to, like, run a VHS rental store. It's like, this is just simply not viable or relevant anymore. Like, you can have, like, we have Vulcan Video here, which is a video rental store. Like, and there's like video rental stores out there. but like this is just never gonna be viable anymore. It's just like the culture in the world has changed, and it's already changed. It's been changed for years now.
Game Informer as much of it as they can, so it'll be interesting to see how much of Game Informer they do manage to preserve. But the fact that such efforts have to be taken instead of GameStop at the very least allowing some semblance of a grace period for the website to remain up, for this stuff to be archived, and for all the coverage that they did and all of the information that they've put out there to be preserved, is just, I mean, it is the insult to injury. It is the sprinkle of pepper on top of your gaping wound. I really hope everyone manages to land on their feet, and I guess I'll leave off with my experience with Game Informer. I remember the first Game Informer magazine I bought was the one covering Elder Scrolls for Oblivion. It's how I discovered Elder Scrolls, literally through Game Informer and their coverage of this game. I remember buying that magazine, reading through the cover story, and being so incredibly hyped by everything they were saying about what this game was going to be. And then I bought the game and I played it, and it became one of my favorite games of all time. And from then on, I remember being a teenager, and the thing that I would look forward to...
I bought the game, I played it, I soft locked myself, and I couldn't figure out or advance the story at all, because apparently I think I killed the king or something like that. I don't know, it was some sort of thing I messed up. And I would just go around killing people and taking all their stuff, and then I had so much stuff in my house, then I couldn't put any more stuff in my house, so I quit the game.
Most when I'd go like grocery shopping with my mom was going to the magazine racks
the way
and
it is.
seeing if there was
game.
a new issue of Game Informer, and every time there was, I'd pick one of those up and, you know, beg my mom to buy me the thing, and I'd just like read it from page to page, and especially those cover stories that provided like just unprecedented insight into the games that they were covering, especially at that time.
That was the place.
I remember buying quite a few issues, and every one of them being just like a momentous occasion, like
I had a Game
monthly
Informer
treat
subscription
to look forward to
back in the day.
And so I really do have fond memories of Game Informer and buying those magazines, and Game Informer being the outlet that kept me so up to date on some of my most anticipated titles. So to close the video off, I hope everyone at Game Informer knows that they have had a tremendous amount of impact in gaming culture, gaming history, and I'm sorry that corporate bullshit has ruined what should have been a continuing, long-running venture. But know that you've had an impact.
I don't think it should have continued. I bet they were probably losing millions of dollars on it. They had to cut it off, but it was just it was fucked up for them to just shut down the website, so the people that worked there couldn't even save their work. Yeah, like, let's be honest, right? That's just the way it is.
In the hearts of many who grew up playing games, like I feel like everyone who grew up playing games will tell you some story about, you know, buying a Game Informer magazine. And you know,
no, for me it was I remember we would go to Albertsons, and this was a grocery store. It's not even around anymore. Maybe it is in some places in the country, but like we used to have an Albertsons, kind of, you know, like we would drive over there, and then we would get food at Albertsons, and then there was a Burger King. And we would go there all the time. It is, I'm not really sure. But I remember you would walk in and the magazines would be like right there on the, I guess that's on the right. And I would sit there in front of the magazines and I would read all of them whenever my mom would shop, or like she'd be in line. And like I would have her buy those for me too. And then they even had like, remember those things where they had the little, you would get like it's like the red thing on like the corner of the aisle. And you could like take it at the, what was it called? The coupon from it, remember that? Yeah, the coupon dispenser. Yeah, this was like the year 2000, right? The year 1999. It was a real long time ago, because I remember seeing like Game Informer about like Halo and shit, right? Man, that is like, I mean, really for me it was Nintendo Power was like my real nostalgia magazine, but Game Informer was there too.
Game developers will tell you how special it was to see their game feature in the magazine and whatnot. So
I didn't steal
anything. At the very
least,
least, I hope you can, you know, if you are someone who worked for Game Informer, you can keep your head held up high, knowing that your work really, really mattered. Or at the very least, that's one man's take. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on this sudden nuking of Game Informer, and, you know, share your stories about your experiences with Game Informer and their magazines. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.
Well, I think it's sad. I mean, I don't think it should be a shock. I'll tell you that. It definitely shouldn't be a shock to anybody, and I think it's so fucked up that they just shut down the website. He's right, it's so fucked up. But the reason why they stopped supporting Game Informer is real simple. It's because it wasn't making any fucking money. Like, anybody could have easily seen that doing a magazine for video games in this day and age, it's just not a thing anymore, guys. It's just not surprising. Extra shit to do, yeah. And so nuking the site is a total dick move. It's such a dick move. IGN is next. IGN has so much of an online presence that it won't happen. IGN isn't going to shut down. Like, I could see Kotaku shutting down, and I could see Polygon shutting down. I can't see IGN shutting down. Actually, you know what? I want to talk about that more. I'd use the bathroom first, though. Yeah, give me a minute. So the ones that are going to fall off is IGN will be the only one that doesn't fall off, I think. All of the other ones are going to fall off. The reason why is because IGN has the best reputation, number one. Number two, and I know you might think that IGN's reputation is bad. What I'm saying is it's the best, it's the least bad. Like, Kotaku and Polygon's reputation is way worse. The best, least bad, yeah, exactly. And so what's going to end up happening is that IGN, and I think it's not just IGN, I think it's a lot of these other places too, they're going to be shifting over to doing things online. I'll link you guys a video again. But, like, you're not going to see any more magazines coming out. Like, that's going to be done. Now, you could see maybe in like 10 years, 15 years, somebody doing a magazine again, as if like it's like kind of a retro thing, and you could see it get popular. In the same way that like vinyls are popular. I could maybe see that happen, but I wouldn't bet on it, right? I definitely wouldn't bet on it. So yeah, IGN also on red carpets and shit too. They're bigger than people think. Yeah, IGN's not gonna die. I could easily see Kotaku dying. I could easily see like Polygon dying. I could see, what are some of the other ones? Rock, Paper, Shotgun, I could see them die. PC Gamer, I could see PC Gamer dying. Absolutely. Yeah, Prage, please die Kotaku. Yeah, GameSpot, remember GameSpot? GameSpot, yeah, a little bit, right? Like, not really. Eurogamer, maybe, maybe not. I don't really know. I don't really go there. Dexterdo? No, Dexterdo already shifted to, like, talking about, like, celebrity drama and shit, right? And, like, IGN does the same thing. And, like, that's never gonna go out of business. Like, a new tweet, like, every time a streamer says something stupid, like, they're gonna post that. Like, that's gonna get plenty of attention. Much more than, like, a game thing will. Games Radar will never die. IGN acquired Eurogamer? Yeah, that's smart. IGN does games, movie, drama, all of it? Yeah, that's smart, right? And I think IGN is gonna be the only place that actually... IGN is gonna be the only place that doesn't have its workers looking like this. Like, you work at Game Informer, this is you. You work at, you know, Kotaku is probably gonna be you. You work at, like, a lot of these places is probably gonna be you. This is gonna be you, that's your house. In 10 years. Eurogamer lost me whenever they refuse to review Hogwarts. Yeah, to me, whenever I see somebody do some kind of, like, a political, what's the word for it? Like, tantrum, right? Like, where it's like, oh, we're not gonna review Hogwarts Legacy or something like that. I'm just like, okay, this is a joke, right? I'm not gonna take these guys seriously. Because it's just you, after that, to me, it's like, I can never take what somebody says authentically anymore. Or I have to look at it through the lens of, like, that bias and assume that everything that I see and hear from them is not authentic. That's the way I see it. Showboating, grandstanding, yeah, exactly. Like, any sort of grandstanding or, like, anything like that, I immediately say, you know what, I'm not about it, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to deal with it. So yeah, with a pinch of salt, exactly. That's true. IGN doesn't just cover games. Yeah, it still has to get approved. It's not just one person. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, in general, it's something that I think is it's a big issue, right? Faking dislikes. Yeah, I don't know about that. MrBeast killed puppies. Yeah, he also eats them and people, of course. I mean, everybody knows that. Wouldn't that be the same thing with you covering about issues that people about you know? Yeah, exactly. And like that's why people, because and don't get it twisted, right? If I cover an issue with somebody and people think that I provide biased coverage to that issue, they are going to be less likely to take my opinion seriously in the future, because that's what any normal, reasonable person would do. If you have somebody and this person gives biased coverage, you're going to assume that next time they're also going to give biased coverage. Like, it's common sense, right? So that's what happens the most, is that like, people, usually reputations aren't damaged instantaneously. They're damaged over a period of time of collectively through a pattern of bad behaviors. So for example, like any streamer that's like lost a lot of popularity, it was almost never the case where it was like one time they did something bad and now everybody hates them, right? Like, it's death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah, bro, like, it's a scarlet rot. Exactly. Europeans can save live service games after end of life. Is this true? It seems like something they're trying to get to the lawmakers over there. We'll take a look and see what they're saying. Video games have grown to an industry, right. Increasing number of publishers are selling video games that are required to connect through the internet to the game publisher or a home phone to function. While this is not a problem in itself, when support ends for these games, very often the publishers simply sever the connection to the necessary game and destroy all the working copies of the game. So basically what he's saying is that there are live service games that come out and then the developer just decides to pull the plug on them, and now everybody that bought the game effectively wasted their money. So basically, and also that you're not able to make a private server in replacement of that, right? So you're fucked. So that's basically what happened, right? It's just not just live service. Yeah, but it's primarily live service. I know there's a few exceptions. The practice is effectively robbing customers of their purchases and makes restoration impossible. Besides being an affront to consumer rights, video games themselves are unique creative works. Like film, music, one cannot simply be substituted for another. By destroying them, it represents a creative loss for everyone involved and erases history in ways not possible to other mediums. So basically, they're trying to add a law. No one may be deprived of his or her possessions except in the public interest or in the cases under the conditions provided under the law, subject to fair compensation, being paid in good time for their loss. So basically, I completely agree with this. I want to say I completely 100%, 200% absolutely agree with this. So let's talk about why I agree with this. The main reason why is because if you buy something, you should be able to use it. And I think the developer, so I have no problem if a developer has a live service game. I think that you should have to play on their version of the game. That's fair. But if they shut down the servers, I don't think that they should have the legal authority to shut down private servers that exist in place of the official servers. So for example, let's say World of Warcraft gets shut down. I'm not a fan of private servers, and I don't think you should make private servers right now because there is a legal way that you can go through to consume the product. But if there is no way that you can go through to consume the product in the way that you initially bought it, then you should be able to remedy that yourself. So if you have a game and they shut down the servers, you should be able to make your own server in place of that, and they should not be able to shut that down because they are not providing the service anymore. It's that fucking simple. So that's what I think. When they abandon it, it should become private. Exactly. So that's what I think you should be able to do. Time for the USA to implement this too? Yeah, exactly. I agree. I'm definitely. How does that work with continuously updated game? Well, simple. It's the same as it works with Classic WoW right now. People play Classic WoW, and everybody likes Classic WoW, and it's the same patch that it's been for 10 years. Basically, I know they did a couple of updates for consistency, etc., but for the most part, it's been pretty much the exact same. So yeah, you just do the exact same thing. So the government's gonna force the developers to pay for the service if the game is essentially dead? You a retard? We got a retard in the chat? We got a fucking idiot that don't know how to listen? Shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut up, you fucking idiot. Get the fuck out of here. Trying to have a conversation. So this dude actually went and he talked about this situation. We'll take a look at it. We'll see what he's gonna say. I like this guy. He made another video about this before.
Hi, I'm Ross.
Hi, Ross.
For the past several months, I've been working on a campaign to stop the destruction of video games.
Yeah, we watched the original
video. Most
video.
games work indefinitely, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But more and more are being designed to stop working the second support ends from the publisher. A kill switch, essentially.
Yeah.
It's a form of planned obsolescence, where publishers are destroying games they've already sold to you.
Planned obsolescence, by the way, some people might not know this, is that this is a actual term. It's not like some bullshit. It's when, how many of y'all ever bought a phone and 2 years and 1 month on the dot, the phone just starts going, y'all ever had that happen? That's planned obsolescence. And I think that in Europe it was ruled to be illegal. I'm not an expert in this, but my understanding is that it is. So they can't basically design things so that they are made to break. So this, yeah, I'm just saying, that's not he's not using a phrase. This is a codified term.
Keeping your money. And this is all preventable. Some people don't understand that. I've compared this before to studios from a century ago burning their own films after they were done showing them to recover the silver content. And now most films of that era are gone forever. That's very similar to what's happening to video games today.
Yep.
It's just a terrible practice for everyone
graveyard.
Involved. Now most of my efforts have gone towards challenging the legality of this practice in various countries. Because
why should a company be responsible for keeping the servers turned on for a game to operate? I want you to say sorry. Say sorry for wasting our fucking time with your dumbass message. You didn't even listen to what was being said. Say sorry. You wasting everybody's fucking time with your bullshit. Well, no, come on, let's go. We gotta get this over with. We can't be wasting our time with this bullshit this early. Bro, it's barely noon. You already being stupid. What are you doing being stupid this early? Sorry? Yeah, me too, man. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
So consumer hostile, it's not clear if what's going on is even legal. That's still ongoing.
Yeah.
But now we have a new option, proposing new law, and for the entire European Union. It took months to get put together and processed. But now we have a European Citizens Initiative devoted to halting the destruction of video games. You can read it yourself.
I just can't, like, I'm thinking about, I look behind him and I'm like, that's like the Windows XP, like, default background. Like, I don't know why, I can't unsee it.
Oh, this would require publishers to leave games they have sold to customers in a working state at the time of shutdown, without requiring any further connection to them or affiliated parties for the games to function. How they would do this would be up to them. This would also apply to free-to-play games that contain microtransactions. Because if you purchased a microtransaction as a good, then the game is made unplayable, well then you just lost your goods.
You did, and it's like basically your waifu evaporates. Like, that's it, it's gone. Like, the game goes into service, all of your SSR 5-star characters are deleted, they're done. Yeah.
Would not require publishers to give up any of their intellectual property rights, give up their source code, though that one would still be nice. It wouldn't require endless support. They can end it any time they want as far as we're concerned. It wouldn't need to host servers.
You hear that?
They would have to either patch out that requirement or else allow customers to host them privately.
Exactly.
Assume
yes.
any liability for what customers do with their copies of games.
Yeah, it's not their problem.
Nothing about this initiative would have any impact on publisher business practices while the game is being supported.
Exactly.
In other words, publishers can continue doing whatever they want as long as you get to keep your game.
Yep.
It amazes me when some people say that's going too far in favor of the consumer. Though to be fair, that's probably not most Europeans. The idea here is we're just trying to stop games from being destroyed. That's it. So we're taking as narrow an approach as possible that still solves the problem. If we get enough signatures, then this goes before the European Union to be considered as new law. Now, if you're on board with this, you don't have to keep watching. You can go sign it right now. But wait,
I don't really see why, like, anybody would be against this. This seems like just a good decision. Because, like, here's the thing, right? Is like, if you pay for things inside of a game, like, you still spent your fucking money. And I think that if you spend your money on something, you should have some degree of protection for what happens to that thing. Like, this whole thing, and this is what these companies do, is they try to take everything, like, you know, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy, live in a pod, eat the bugs, right? There's a big component of this with owning nothing that's happening a lot, where people buy things, but they don't have any ownership of the thing that they're buying. So, for example, like, you buy a movie, well, you don't buy a movie. You buy it on Amazon, and you don't even really own the DVD. You don't have any autonomy of what you're going to do with that movie. You can't watch it wherever you want to watch it. You can't put it in a DVD player somewhere else. You can't do anything, right? So I think that there's like a massive, like, the level of control that companies can exert over a user after the user has given them money, I think is too big right now. There's too many things that a company can do to control what a user does with something that they've spent their money on. And to me, when somebody says, oh, but you didn't buy it, you bought a license for it, that doesn't really matter, because licenses aren't real, right? Like, you can't go out in nature and, oh, that's a wild license, right? It's not a real thing. This is like a invention of people, right? People invented this idea of a license. So what I'm saying is that this idea of a license needs to fucking change.
Before you do, you have one chance to do this right. It's not hard, but if you make a mistake, your signature is invalidated and you don't get another chance. We've made guides at StopKillingGames.com on how to do this, just in case.
Yep.
But is this as simple as people sign this and it becomes law in the EU? Yeah, it might be. Now, it's not a guarantee, but I think if we get the signatures, this passes. Why do I say that? Well, it's a few factors. politicians like easy wins.
Well, yeah, there's that. And also, like, if you understand the topic, there is no way that it's defendable that you can spend money on something and then they can just shut it down randomly and prevent you from figuring out a way to access it on your own. It's like obviously fucking unfair. It's completely unfair. Any reasonable person could look at it and be like, well, that's really fucking stupid.
And this doesn't require them to do much at all. And unless it involves gambling or protecting children, politicians generally don't care about video games. So this isn't a big consequence to them or most of their constituencies. EU law is already unclear on a lot of this practice anyway.
Yeah.
And we would be making it easy for them to settle it. It falls in line with other consumer practices.
That's the biggest thing to me, right? Is because this, if you logically interpret the law from like what my understanding of it is, which is probably kind of inaccurate, but I think it's kind of accurate too, is that this is very clearly a consumer unfriendly practice that is in nobody's best interest other than the companies. There is not a single consumer whose experience with a product is improved because other people cannot make servers whenever that game is no longer being supported officially. Nobody's experience is improved by not allowing this to happen. So it is a pure negative.
How when you buy something, you're generally allowed to keep it? And finally, this is a diversion from really serious topics that politicians would prefer not to deal with.
Yeah.
This would let them stay busy and avoid hard stuff. In fact, I would bet if we can clear the signature threshold, this passes into law and we solve the problem 90% or more. I say 90% because this would only impact the EU. So if a game was released only in China or Japan, yeah, this wouldn't save those. But most video games are sold globally. And the EU is part of that. Once it's a requirement...
Well, here's the other thing, right? Is like, actually it would pretty much solve the problem. I'll tell you why. It's because you can just log on to a European server. So even if it's not the law here in America, if you have the copy of the game, you can just log on to the European server. I mean, like, yeah, you're gonna have bad ping, right? It's not gonna be great, but it's better than nothing. So yeah, as long as there's a place where you can do this, then it completely solves it. For all intents and purposes, for an average online gamer.
That companies have to let you keep the games they sold to you in a major market like that, I think it spreads, whether it's the law elsewhere or not. Now, unfortunately, what I would not bet on, because it's a huge unknown, is whether we can pass that signature threshold to begin with.
Yeah.
In order for this to work, we need 1 million signatures across the EU. Though really, it's more than that. Because some are going to be invalidated because...
That's a lot.
Who knows why.
That's a lot.
So really,
Damn.
we need more like 1.2 or 1.3
That's
million
a lot.
signatures. Oh, and it gets worse. Because you need certain minimum thresholds per country for it to pass. So say somebody signs it in Greece. Well, then we need almost 15,000 more Greeks to sign it. Otherwise, none of the Greek signatures count. That rule strikes me as rather obtuse and awkward. I almost wonder if the EU took a page from the United States for that one. Anyway, that's a lot of signatures. I might be delusional for attempting this. I don't know yet. Now, the good news is...
I mean, I can support it. I definitely support it, absolutely. And like, the thing is, there's a good chance that the way it stands right now could be problematic in ways that I might not have been able to predict right now. Like, was, for example, like, releasing the same patch, one patch behind for retail WoW. Like, this would maybe technically be accurate. It's like, should not be true. So, like, I think it's something that should be investigated. They should figure out what the solution for this is, because it's very clearly bad for users.
1 year to get them all. So we will have time. Although I'll say right now, there is no way I can get that many Europeans just from my audience. The only way this works is by reaching out to European YouTubers and streamers and so on to get on board, and non-English speaking ones at that.
Yeah, sure.
Now, I'll do my part and promote this the best I can, but I have limited reach. In fact, since I've started Stop Killing Games, I want to say everyone I've reached out to never responded. So me reaching out doesn't work. It's a total failure. However, there are
It's the
two
way it
things
is.
that did work. One is people reaching out to me, since I respond to a lot. And two is people just covering this on their own.
No, I'll link it to you guys after
really
this.
worked. Which means if you're watching this, you may be a critical link in all this.
Oh, I'm a
Because
critical link,
you
guys.
can tell other YouTubers, streamers, etc. about this initiative, and maybe they'll pick it up. And again, it's even better if their core audience is non-English speaking. The number of native English speakers in the EU is relatively small, so we need to connect the dots in other languages the best we can.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now, I'm offering myself for interviews, publicity on this issue, whatever, to almost anyone with a European audience of some size. In addition to that,
I'll tell you, like, a lot of people from Europe watch my stream. Like, that's crazy. I didn't even know that. Somebody told me at Twitch just a long time ago that I had one of the biggest ratios of, like, European viewers for somebody who's not a European streamer. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Spokesperson and backup spokesperson for the initiative have offered to speak on this also, and they are multilingual. And we have a few more official organizers who may be willing to discuss this in other languages as well.
Hopefully.
These are the people officially in charge. You know, actual Europeans. Yeah, even though I've helped, officially, I'm not a part of this. I'm not eligible. Doesn't matter. Whatever gets us to the finish line. And speaking of eligibility, it's pretty simple. You need to be a citizen of an EU country, though you don't have to live there, and you need to be at least voting age. That's it. This also means it's not just you who can sign this, but your friends can sign this. Your family
Your
can
fat
sign
friends.
this. Girlfriends, boyfriends can sign this. They all count. Get everybody. And tell them to get people to sign too. And yes, it feels weird that I'm an ineligible American campaigning for Europeans to sign a document. But you know what? If it passes...
Says telling game companies to give away their server tech is kind of bad for IP purposes. It was clearly stated inside. That's complex enough to where, like, I'm not going to get mad at you for saying that. It was actually clearly stated inside of what was written that that would not be required.
We all win. So we just have to go to where the openings are. Oh, and if your relatives or whoever don't care about video games, you can explain to them this is also about not losing basic ownership. Like, if video games are cars, what's happening now would be like if I sold you a car at full price, then later, and I wouldn't tell you how much later, so it's not a rental, I then came to your house and repossessed your car.
Right.
But I also kept your money. That is not good business. No. Or not for the consumer anyway.
The way that it stands right now is completely consumer unfriendly. Like as a consumer, like, you're getting fucked. That's all there is to it. You're getting fucked.
I guess taking back what you've sold is great for businesses. Maybe that's why the industry is worth more than movies and music combined. I get it. Video games aren't that important to most people. But because of that, they're the canary in the coal mine. What about farm equipment, education tools, medical devices? You do not want this practice spreading to other areas, believe me. The one thing I want to...
That's actually, he brings up a really good point, and you're seeing car manufacturers do this too. So there are a number of subscriptions that you have to get to not have to, but that you can get for cars. And a lot of the subscriptions, like, for example, OnStar and, like, having direct service, I think makes sense that you would have to pay a subscription for it because it's an ongoing service that happens. But for example, I think heated seats is one of them as well, where in some cars, you have to pay money to have something activated. I think the idea that you can buy a product and then have part of that product intentionally deactivated to upsell you is... Why are we allowing this? That's insane. Absolutely fucking insane. How's that even possible? So video games, he's definitely right that, like, this is the canary in the coal mine, where if this is happening to video games, it's going to happen to cars, TVs, computers, and stuff like this afterwards, right? You already saw what happened, for example, with Unity. You saw what happened with Adobe, for example. So this is happening with software as well. It's a very big problem. Logitech mouse.
If some of you have already done the math,
yeah,
I realize we need an average of over 2,700 signatures a day in order to make this work.
That's crazy.
I'll say right now, we're not going to get that many every day.
Yeah.
This stuff happens in waves as big people pick it up. Plenty of days will be below par, but others can be 10 times or higher. So don't write this off too early. Don't be that guy I've seen in team games who gives up at the slightest sign of resistance and calls it game over 30 seconds into the match.
It's it. We're done,
I hate
guys.
That crap. I think we're at a crossroads. If we can get enough signatures, then I think we end this and change gaming history. Yeah. Or we can't get our act together and the problem gets worse and worse.
Yeah, again, it's about making sure that a law like this happens, if for no other reason than to set a precedent for other industries doing things that are similar, that have more far-reaching concerns like cars.
Then in the future, we really don't own anything. And we're charged a lot for not owning anything.
Yeah.
Now maybe we get lucky and this is redundant due to all the other legal challenges we have going, but either way, this is it for your chance to save games.
Yep.
There's not going to be a round 2. If you or someone you know is an EU citizen, you have the power to end this just by signing a form.
This is one thing that people don't understand. Like a lot of like people that, I mean, if you live in like a shit country, then like it's not true. But like, if you get enough people together, you can do anything you want. I wish more people understood this, but I think that like there's an effort that's made to make people feel like their input and their collective bargaining is not meaningful. It absolutely is. If you get enough people together, you can change whatever the fuck you want to change.
Plan may have a critical weakness, and that I'm counting on gamers to care about not seeing their games destroyed. I hope that's not too big an ask.
Yeah.
Because years from now, somebody could be saying, yeah, I had the chance to save gaming, but it required me to open up a whole new tab in my browser and fill in my name and a CAPTCHA. Oh my God. So I didn't do it. It was just too much work. It wasn't worth it.
I had to give him my email.
If that's the general sentiment among gamers, then yeah, I can't overcome that.
Yeah, there's no way.
Then I'm Don Quixote here fighting windmills. I hope that's not the case. So, yeah, go sign it or tell somebody European about it.
Yeah, he right. He right. He right. True, true, true. All true. Societal norms to side by society. People can overthrow a law, a group, anything. Yeah, you can do anything you want to do. So I want to link you guys this. I totally support Ross in this. I think he's right. I'll link you guys the initiative as well. There's the video. Make sure to give it a like. Well, I guess the initiative's just in the comments here, right? Yeah, it's right here. So just take a look at it. If you're interested, if you care, this is a huge issue. And I don't really see why, like, I don't see why people would be against this. I don't understand it. Now, I think that the way that the language is written now, some people had concerns with the language. I think that that's obviously up for debate, right? Because, you know, who knows, right? Maybe there could be some language that's problematic, but the essence of what's being argued for, I think, is legitimate. And that is that if you buy a game, you should be able to play that fucking game, and they shouldn't be able to stop you from trying to play the game when they decide to stop providing service, right? That's the difference. So yeah, it's like, remember whenever Windows decided to stop updating Microsoft XP, and then like the federal government was so fucking stupid and incompetent, they had to spend extra money to increase the support time because of how dumb they were, right? But like, they didn't shut down Windows XP, right? It's not like it got deleted, they just stopped providing support for it. So if you stop providing support for something, that's fine. But to actively stop other people from being able to solve the problem and figure it out themselves, that's where the issue is, that's the problem. Please tweet about it? Yeah. We had to asking gacha companies to reimburse their players at closure, TISC. Well, it's not about asking people to reimburse. I think that asking for reimbursement is too much, but what isn't too much is to ask or to not actively prevent people from creating an alternative that they plan to play. Because if you are, here's the thing, right? A company, if you're selling something and a person buys it, that person should be entitled to a certain amount of rights for what they bought. So you can't just be able to sell something to somebody and then just later on change your mind and be like, yeah, well, we decided we don't like what you're saying on Twitter, so we're gonna delete your waifus. Like, what the fuck? It doesn't even make sense. So the problem is, yeah, give an offline version, exactly. And if there's no offline version that the person should have access to, well, then effectively that person just got scammed, right? Because they bought something, and then their access to it was removed through no fault of their own. So yeah, no, they got scammed, like absolutely. Signing right now, yeah. And there's no reason that people should put up with this. Why put up with this? Why allow this to happen? Because let's take a step back. Let's look at Nintendo. When Nintendo sends somebody a cease and desist, Nintendo doesn't do that. The power of that cease and desist is not by Nintendo. Nintendo is nothing. It's some fucking Japanese company. Who gives a fuck about Nintendo? Do you want to know why the cease and desist matters? It's because if the cease and desist isn't followed, the government comes and actually shuts you the fuck down. So Nintendo is powerless. They can't do anything. The government acts on their behalf. And all I'm saying is that we should have the government act on our behalf instead. So yeah, I completely agree with this initiative. I absolutely do. Obviously, there are probably some nuances that should get ironed out, etc. But with what does count as like abandonment, etc. But there's the initiative right there. I totally support it. I think that it should be, and I think also, again, even if you don't care about the video game stuff, you should care about this because this is what will happen to other products as well. Like refrigerators, it will happen to cars, it will happen as everything becomes electronic and more companies try to transform their products into services so that they can charge you for them more regularly. This will become more and more common until it completely fucking controls everything, basically, right? It's gonna be pervasive through everything. You broke the page? Well, good. You mentioned it on multiple occasions, so more people see it live. If I remember, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, what will stop publishers from dropping EU market? It's financially illegal taxing to implement because core logic is server-based. They won't give it up. The core logic, so here's the thing. There have been a lot of games that have been remade, but the reason why, so do you want to know the reason why nobody's been able to remake Bloodborne into PS5? Do you want to know the real reason why? It's because it's illegal. If remaking Bloodborne for like PC was legal and you could do it, it would have happened years ago. The big reason why this stuff doesn't happen is because the resources put towards it it's a waste of resources because you can just get banned. Couldn't Americans not sign in via VPN? Now they're losing their source code? Well, I don't know. What about the difference between paying for a service and paying for a product? I think that just because you call a product a service doesn't make it a service. You can't just redefine things in ways that give you more control. Like, for example, a service makes sense whenever you're talking about a haircut. A service makes sense whenever you're talking about somebody mowing your lawn. It doesn't make sense in terms of a video game. So just because you want to redefine things in a way that's beneficial to you doesn't necessarily mean that way should be enforced legally. So no, I don't agree with that. Think you're wrong? About what? Yeah, because I'd be fine to hear like let me read this person's comment. I think microtransactions count as bought service, not as a product. I think you're hyper-fixated on the Logitech thing. I'm not even thinking about that. Who cares about that? Sorry if I already saw it. Power software stick.
Permission requested. Docking request accepted. Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
tastes are exquisite, your entertainment should be too. Esha, the choice for authentic Hungarian cultural horror films.
All right, here we go. We get to it. Non-competes are bad. True. Handy games. Is this 2001? Oh shit. Is this a scary movie? That one don't work. He only got one monitor? Bro, this dude only got one monitor. He living in 2006. A handy 9000. Wait, what website are we on? Oh shit. Is loud. You know what's funny to me about this? Is there anybody that has any nostalgia for
Welcome to the Handy Games Archive.
Never mind.
My name is Handy 9000, and I was created to guide you through the Handy Games Showcase of 2024.
Who thought this was a
There
guy?
are new entries for our highly rated early access game,
Can I get
Oddsparks and Automation Adventure. Commencing data export.
Alright, what's this? It's like a was that Pikmin? Called Sparks. An automation adventure. Ooh, slavery. Is that Pikmin? There's a part of this I like. I do. I feel like this would be something like if I got a sponsor or something like that to play this game, I'll play this game. I don't know if I play it on my own, right? I got so many other fucking games going on. The Pikmin, yeah, how he's throwing the Pikmin and shit? Yeah, that
I
was
have
cool.
found another attachment to this data entry.
What is it?
Would you like to proceed?
He gets a gun, he shoots him. Play the demo now. Damn, okay. Holy shit.
Our next entry is
Good for them.
error. Performing system diagnostic. Demon presences identified. Countermeasures initiated. Agents have been alerted.
Heavens! Can that over-engineered trash can shut up for a second? I'll tell you what happened.
It's Diablo. Seems alright.
I ripped off that idiot's head like nobody's business. You know, killing humans used to be fun. But there were so many, they just didn't stop coming. Over and over I killed them, but they came up with something new every time.
That's cool.
They poisoned me. They made me bleed. And another one of them made holy light rain down on everyone. One guy even had the audacity to use a chain hook against me. That is my thing, for fuck's sake.
Then you get this guy a new mic.
But at some point it just got ridiculous. No idea where they found that stuff, but they started throwing black holes at me. Motherfucking black holes.
This sounds like I'm doing an ICC GDKP with Russians. You know?
I'm gonna try ripping you apart like the rest of them. You will make a fine sacrifice. Prepare to die.
don't know what the fuck he said, but that seemed all right.
Resource management is requested. Entry on human rituals for food gathering.
You know,
discovery.
half and half. This got some good graphics. Yeah.
It is time. Mods, swap us over to No Man's Sky. Let us try this game out. This game that everyone says is amazing. Some call this game the comeback of the decade. What do we do, guys? Normal? I'm ready.
Commencing an assistant suit initialization.
Nice. Now perform a scan. The scanner has a personal surface radar device. It releases a high energy pulse that reveals any critical survival resources in the immediate area. Oh, that's neat. Okay, now gather the dust for repairs. All right, need some dust. Need some dust. You got some dust? You ferret dust? Nice. Now scan to locate sodium. Nice. Now recharge hazard protection. Okay, the charge. What up? Can I what?
Technology recharge.
Oh, okay. Woo! Oh my God, it's Icarus Dash. How do I scan it? I need a seal, a hermetic seal, and a metal plating. The law finishes the machine works alive, spitting out supplies. At the hermetic seal, I need to repair my ship. Yes. Whoever it is that let me here, whoever left this message, perhaps they found themselves in the same situation as I do now. All right, all right. Is there anything on this side? Nice. That was coming at me. I don't know what you're talking about, chat. I was gonna walk by him. That was coming at me. I don't know what you're talking about, chat. What's the purpose of scanning? Oh, you get credits? Oh. All right. Tab. Let's fix this bad baby up. Wasn't construct a portable refiner? Oh, that's neat. Whose ship is that? All systems are functional. Seek answers among the stars. Use W to take off. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. How do I go up? Oh, my God. Oh my god. Answer the communicator by pressing X. Incoming transmission source 4925B. Please identify yourself. Okay, identify myself. The static noise, the static subtitle. The broadcast ends as strange as it began. The final piece of the signal appears to be set of planetary coordinates. This is what we wanted Starfield to be. I have a feeling this planet is going to be amazing. It's going to be full of life, minerals, riches. We are meant to be here. Holy shit, it's cold. No fuel failed to reach station. Hazard protection low. No choice but to underground. Oh, deploy base computer. So as the log entry, the signal contains plans for the base computer and a Terran manipulator.
Terrain.
Okay. I don't know what any of that means. Oh my god, messed him up, dude. Copper deposit. Here we go. Oh. Alright, we have the Terran manipulator.
Terrain.
Oh my god. Dude, this thing's crazy. All right, let's see what we need here. Process copper to create chromatic metal. Deploy refiner from the building. University Archive search reveals no prior claims on the site. Sonar test confirms site is suitable for construction. Claim site. Should I make this my base or no? You can find a better planet. All right, everybody keeps telling me I need to look at this damn map. Okay. What the? How the hell am I supposed to explore all that? Ooh. All right, all right. Paradise. There it is, right there, baby. We're about to land. It's gonna be sunny beaches. It's gonna be a nice 75 degrees. Perfect. Oh my God. This place is beautiful. Okay. Car. Here we go. All right. This looks great, man. We got all kinds of resources. Some flying animals too. What the f is that? Is that like a T-Rex or something? Bring up your camera and it will show you the galaxy glyph code. Oh, now people know how to find me. Oh. You just gave your address away? Nice. Beautiful. All right, let's go. Let's make a base. Nice. Perfect. Extract thy plans. Oh my God, we can build a full-blown base. Okay. Oh, I need more materials. Okay. We went too ambitious. All right, I'm in my roof area. Oh, this looks pretty good now. This is nice, Norman. What's happening? Who is this? Caboose? Oh my God, I'm taking a lot of damage right now. It's 209 degrees outside. How do I protect myself? Caboose is beautiful, brother. I love what you're doing with the place. Hell yeah. Caboose out here gaming, man. We got doors on our. Holy hell. All right, let's see. Put one of these portable refineries here. That's important. This game is so massive. So there's endless worlds with different biomes, resources, animals. How in the shit did they do it? Look at this chat. What I've been telling y'all. I told y'all. The next Destiny expansion, we're going to be literally out in the stars and we're going to come across a cube. All right. So we got that. Now craft carbon nanotubes. Deploy construction research units. Oh, you can actually, I see. So you literally research the structures that you can build. I gotcha. Insufficient salvage modules. Okay. Now let me ask you something. Is Cobra and these guys that are with me right now, they're on their accounts and they brought all their materials with them. Is that right? Gotcha. Holy shit, how many people are here right now? What the? What is happening right now? There's gonna be a damn city by tomorrow. Well. We were alone and now we're not alone. I don't even know what the f that is over there. To all the people that are here right now, thank you so much for joining me on my humble moon that we randomly found. I don't know what's happening with that. Here's what I want us to do from now until tomorrow. If we can terraform the entire planet, kill all life, and just extract every bit of the resources from it. That's it from me today. This has been a very enjoyable game so far. It takes exploration to a whole nother level. It's got MMO aspects I didn't know were a thing in this game. And it really makes me believe what the developers said about the light no fire game. So yeah, I think they can pull it off for sure. We'll be back again tomorrow, guys. We'll be playing more of this game, so I'll see y'all then. Okay, bye everybody.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.
Guys, I think I'll end it here. I'm feeling pretty tired. Still recovering from like stomach flu. But yeah, got a lot done today. Got a good head start on the head retopo. Aside from that, the head is basically the hardest part. The rest is basically done. Maybe like the hips and the toes, but that's basically it. This is gonna go by pretty quickly. And the shoulders might need a little bit, but probably not. Yeah, take care. See you guys later.